from the interviews that we had yesterday. To, today we're gonna be hearing the remainder. What do we got? Where's my form? Oh, here. We have 6 left. As a reminder, interviews are worth up to 15 points. Make sure you get your points over to Dee Dee. Matter of fact, Dee Dee, can you review the list of agencies presenting today
Thank you,
and
Chair.
their basic requests?
Thank you, Chair, members of the committee. Can I have the next slide? Today, we have starting at 9:15, we have Civitan with a preventive maintenance and a vehicles request. Next, we have STARS with a mobility management, preventive maintenance, and vehicle request. We have Hacienda with the preventive maintenance request. Valley of the Sun with an alternative transportation request. Westminster Village, which is a new agency with a vehicle request. And the City of Chandler, which is also a new agency with a alternative transportation request.
All right. See here. What do we got to 9:15? So let's take a little break. Do we need to split out into another room? Dee Dee, do we have to click something or are we just going to be in this one?
We'll have the same process as last time. We will break out to the, we'll go into the breakout room.
Do you guys want us to do that first? You guys want to send that over before we go on a little break?
Yes, we'll go ahead and send the breakout invite over and so that we can be prepared when we come back.
Okay, so everybody's just waiting for the invite to come over, and then once we do that, we'll just go on a break till about 9:13.
Hi, Justin. Are you here with Bailey Lane and Joe Banana?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll let you guys in.
Okay, thank you.
Committee, we next have STARS, who are requesting mobility management, preventive maintenance and vehicle.
David, we got you, right?
Hi, Joe. You don't have
All
to
right,
be in the
and we
call
only-
anymore. You can
waiting
leave.
for someone else to
Hi, Joe. You don't have to be in the call anymore. You can leave. I actually kind of need you to leave, please. Bye. Hi, Brenda. Are you here with Beth?
Edie, are we back on? The mag screen is no audio and it's off.
Chair, members of the committee, we are back and we do have quorum.
Oh, I see you guys. I do not hear you.
Chair, members of the committee, we are back and we do have quorum.
Okay, all right. All right, so the next agenda item will be discussed to review the scoring results and develop the priority listing. Dee Dee, have we received any online comments for this item?
Chair, members of the committee, we have not received any comments.
Okay. All right, we're gonna move to agenda item 6 then. This item's on the agenda for action and will be presented by Dee Dee. Dee Dee, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Chair Dudley, members of the EPDT committee. I'm going to take a moment. I wanted to pause real quick. This is Patrick Sohn, Deputy Transportation Director for Programming. I know Wendy covered for me yesterday. I appreciate that. Unfortunately, this has been a crazy, chaotic 2 days. I did want to take a moment and recognize Dee Dee's service to MAG, to the community, to the agencies that she has served so diligently. By only getting the opportunity to be working with her for a handful of months, phenomenal. You can tell the passion she has for this. It's rare to get an employee that is so engaged and so involved in the communities she serves. It came through on our first conversation, up to the last conversation we will probably have next week. But I did want to take a moment and really just acknowledge, especially with this committee, because I think the work you guys do is very meaningful. Sometimes maybe some others don't know what you do, but I've appreciated the opportunity to learn from Dee Dee and only look for good things moving forward. But Dee Dee, congratulations. Sorely going to miss you. Wish it was us, but again, well, there you go. So appreciate you so much. Thank you, Chair.
All right. Thanks, Patrick. Yep, ditto with Dee Dee. You're definitely losing someone really good who knows her stuff there for the 5310 program. So she is definitely going to be sorely missed. All right, so let's move on to let's move on to the priority listing. Dee Dee, hand it over to you.
Chair, members of the committee, and thank you so much. Just thank you. I need to collect myself right now. I know I need to collect myself. That was I greatly thank you, the committee, for providing your time for this evaluation process and continuing with this interview opportunity. This provides our applicants an opportunity to know who the committee members are and to present on how their program supports the committee. Thank you very much. I really am very honored to be a support for this group, and you do such valuable work for these projects. So thank you very much. We have seen preventive maintenance increase was presented in the last couple of weeks, and the capital requests are slowly increasing. Unfortunately, we expect to see the procurement costs to continue to rise. And there is an added challenge to our community members regarding insurance for those transportation trips that were once covered. The process today is to develop the priority listing of projects. Again, on the vehicle costs are estimates until final procurement. Just to keep that in mind. To review, there were 39 projects for the Phoenix Mesa Scottsdale area and 5 project requests for the Glendale Avondale area that are up for discussion. After years of refining this process, the committee has the following parameters. Agencies can request up to 5 vehicles. Agencies not meeting 70% do not move forward for awarding. At this point, we have all the agencies have scored above 70 and more. federal requirements is to award 55% on capital projects. For our regional process, we do go up to 60% to ensure that we meet that 55% requirement. Also, on the regional process, we available apportionments for the Phoenix Mesa Scottsdale area is approximately $6 million. And for the PGA, Phoenix Goodyear Avenue area, it is $490. $490,000, like my correction. And this also includes less than the 10% for administration fee for both apportionments. Next slide. Okay. The ranking, we will review the ranking order, and that will be used to draw down final apportionments. At this time, we only have received partial apportionments. Once a priority listing, once we review the rankings and it is up for recommendation, the priority listing is developed and will go through the MAG committee process for approval. Again, the EPDT does develop the priority listing. Next, the priority listing will go through the transit committee for recommendation. It will go through TP's transportation review committee, also for recommendation, and the MAG management committee. It will finally go to the MAG regional council for final approval to forward to the city of Phoenix, who will utilize the priority listing to draw down the federal apportionments for both of the urban areas. Are there any questions? I will go to the priority listing.
Anybody have questions about the process? All right, go ahead, Dee Dee.
Okay, thank you, Chair, members of the committee. We will now review the priority listing. And again, I would also like to note that we are developing the priority listing of projects. We could go to the tab of the PMS scores.
Is there a way, you guys, to make that a lot bigger? It is really tiny.
The front. It should scores for, no, PMS.
It says allocation, PMS allocation.
Yeah. Oh, allocations. Yes. In reviewing this, I would just like to note that this is the allocation based on ranking. When we do develop the list on ranking, some of the formulas will be thrown off, but I just wanted to review this. This is the ranking based on our criteria of 125 pass-through, and then based on the ranking. When we do sort it through the points average, and that will be the final ranking, the formula for the funding amount will be thrown off, but I just wanted to review this. We will do the final allocations on the back end to ensure that they were accurate. So Tyler, could you do point average from largest to smallest? Based on scoring, this is how the numbers have come out. We do have, if you could make that just a little.
Yeah, I'm having trouble reading it. I'm sorry.
I think last year we hid some of the data that we don't necessarily need to see on this. right? Do we need to see all of them?
We can go large and not have the funding.
Oh, there we go. I see. All right. So right now it says City of Phoenix, right
Yep.
choice, number one, 95.1, right?
Yeah, correct.
Oh, okay. So we're looking at the column I, points average.
Correct.
All right.
So we have the City of Phoenix, Valley Metro, East Valley Right Choice, Valley Metro, Surprise West Valley Right Choice. We also have Valley Metro travel training. Next, we have STARS Mobility Management, STARS Preventive Maintenance, STARS Vehicle. Next, we have Chandler Gilbert Arc Mobility Management, the Center of Habilitation Preventive Maintenance, the Valley of the Sun YMCA, Alternative Transportations, the Center for Habilitation. We have Mobility Management, Chandler Gilbert Arc Vehicles, Chandler Gilbert Arc Preventive Maintenance, UCP Preventive Maintenance, NAU Senior Program. Next, if you can scroll down a little. Next, we have Foothills Caring Corps Preventive Maintenance, Foothills Caring Corps Vehicles, Civitan Preventive Maintenance, City of Chandler Transportation Alternative Program, Foothills Caring Corps Transportation Alternatives, One Step Beyond Preventive Maintenance, Golfers Preventive Maintenance, Civitan Foundation, their vehicle request, One Step Beyond, their vehicle request, Gompers Mobility Management, Gompers Equipment, Hacienda Preventive Maintenance. Next, we have Duet, Public Transportation Alternatives, Westminster Village, Vehicle Request, the Arizona Center for the Blind, Preventive Maintenance, Astor Aging, Transportation Alternative Request, Astor Aging, Preventive Maintenance Request, the City of Peoria, Public Transportation Alternative Request, Nobody's Perfect, Preventive Maintenance Request, Train 'em Up Ministry Vehicles, City of Glendale, Alternative Transportation, City of Glendale Taxi Voucher, and the Glencroft Vehicles, and the Central Arizona Council on Developmental Disability, the vehicle request. At this point, we can, all of the capital requests will be covered. We are a little under the allocation for the capital request. We come in just a little under 220,000 for capital that will move forward into the next application process.
Judy, can we go, let's see. The only one I really have kind of questions on right now is, and not that they're below 70 or anything, because they're obviously above that, is Train 'em Up Ministries there. I know they're requesting, what was it, 5 vehicles? 5 vehicles, but I know, being a new agency, I'm kind of concerned whether or not they can honestly take on 5 vehicles at the beginning of this program, only because I'm a little concerned about, it really didn't bring a whole lot. I know she read off the script, but they didn't really have a big plan in place. So I'm not against them having some vehicles. I don't know if 5 vehicles that may be a little overwhelming for a program that is just starting like that, because I don't think they have the drivers, honestly. So I would almost want to say, if the rest of the committee would look at maybe even moving that down to 2 or 3 vehicles, so they can get an understanding, at least through the first process of how this works, working with MAG, working with City of Phoenix, to really kind of understand the requirements that are in, especially with these vehicles. But that is my particular point of view. I don't know if anyone else has any particular concerns with Train 'em Up on giving them that amount of vehicles at the beginning.
Joan
Angie?
Freeman. Hi, Joan Freeman
Oh,
here
Joan,
from
go ahead,
Scottsdale.
Joan.
Yeah, I had the same concerns, and I think the way you verbed it perfect. So I have the same concerns. Thank you.
Okay. Nancy?
Nina Arredondo, I had the same concern because they said they were understaffed to begin with. So it was concerning to me as well.
All right. Lindsay?
Yeah, I do have that concern, especially with cutaways. Cutaways are a unique beast. They are body on chassis, hard to maintain, hard to drive for certain people. So I don't know if anybody agrees that 3 is a lot. One might be nice just to get them acquainted with how
How it
well they
works?
operate, but
Yeah.
even so, we might want to reconsider the cutaways, especially. But I know that Nancy also had her hand up.
Yeah. Nancy?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I second that too. My original thought was 1, maybe 2, and not a cutaway vehicle, and let them get started, and with that
Through the
would be my
process?
recommendation.
Yeah. Eleanor, did you have a question?
Yes, I'm in line with Lindsay and Nancy. I think 5 vehicles is way too much, and I recommend 1 to 2.
1 to 2? I mean, even, you're right. I mean, maybe, you bring up a really good point, Lindsay, about cutaways and the maintenance of cutaways and what it really takes to manage those cutaways. Boy, oh boy, what are they requesting? We're requesting a minivan with a ramp. I can't see that. How many cutaways there, Dee Dee?
Chair, members of the committee, they requested 3 cutaways. They did request a minivan with ramp and a raised roof with lift. One of each of the minivan and the raised roof.
I don't have a problem maybe giving in then the minivan and the one with the raised roof. Because the raised roof comes with the lift, right? I'm trying to remember my vehicles. I know the cutaways definitely come with a lift.
All of them come with the lift. These are all ADA
Oh,
vehicles.
okay. Oh, there we go. All right. It says it right there. All right. Minivan with ramp. Oh, raised roof. With
Oh,
lift. So
yeah.
maybe we just give them those, maybe those 2. Those I think would be maybe a lot easier um, to manage than those 2 and 3 cutaways with a lift on that side. Wendy, I know you've done this before. What are you thinking?
Thank you, Chair, members of the committee. From perspective over time, we have limited requests before for new agencies that were just coming into the program. So there is precedence for providing a less than full request for agencies that may have the committee may have concerns about them, or the city of Phoenix having concerns about them meeting compliance, giving them a chance to get, familiar with the program. So I think as a committee, you could definitely make that decision.
Okay. Does everybody feel okay then just giving them the minivan with the ramp and the raised roof with the lift as maybe a start? And then I think Eleanor, your team over there in Phoenix can try to see exactly, how well they're doing that. Dee Dee, I know it'll be your successor trying to figure out with Train 'em Up Ministries how well they're adapting to that. And just kind of go from there. Just 2 of their 5 requests.
Chair Dudley and members of the committee, from the dialogue that was presented, it sounds like the committee's consensus is to award based on rank score, and and in addition, since Train 'em Up is a new agency, that you would the committee to award the minivan and the raised roof. Has a first-year applicant.
Yeah.
Is that the consensus?
Yes, I believe so. Unless anyone feels to the contrary, let them speak now or forever hold their peace. All right, I'm trying to look at our our new applicants. Was what Westminster, right? They they asked for one vehicle. They seemed really good. I'm not gonna lie. I thought they presented something that was very good. I think they will be able to, and they're just asking for one vehicle, if I recall.
Correct.
And in terms of other, did we have anyone else who was new? I know Glencroft was coming back.
Yes, it was the city of Chandler.
And City of Chandler, I is absolutely fine with their stuff. Um, okay.
Yeah, it while Westminster was new, I don't have the same concerns with their ability to manage a cutaway vehicle.
Yeah. Okay. All
All
right,
right.
Dee Dee, how's that going to work in the? I know that's going to bring some more money for next year, in here. Is that something that
Um,
rolls over, or it doesn't roll over into operating, right?
Chair and members of the committee, no, this is for all the capital requests that we are in discussion about for the train of up ministry, that the remaining funding will carry over to 2026 already, and to be utilized in capital.
Okay.
Capital
So-
requests
All
goes,
right, so those three vehicles, for the most part, that aren't getting funded, we'll just roll those funds over into the capital pot for next year.
correct,
Okay, so that remaining available will just, that 22771 will increase.
that will increase.
Okay. All right.
Next, next we'll review the PGA allocation. Just a little bit, we don't need the funding. Chairman, members of the committee, we can sort through average points from largest to smallest. Tyler, thank you. Largest. Largest. Okay. For the PGA area, we have Valley Center of the Sun for their volunteer drivers program. Next, we have Valley Metro with their transportation alternative program. One Step Beyond preventive maintenance, One Step Beyond mobility manager position, and the One Step Beyond vehicles.
Okay, so what do we got here? So for capital, the first one coming out of the gate would be One Step Beyond's preventive maintenance request.
Correct?
At 11,388, I believe. And then One Step Beyond's mobility management position for 40K. And then the 3 raised roof with lift vehicles for One Step Beyond. Will
Correct.
get us to a total of 377,788. 60% available of it is a little under $300,000. So we have a little bit of a deficit there of 83,199. Is that correct?
That is, Chair, members of the committee, the 83,199 is over. So the suggestion would be to award One Step Beyond the 2 raised vehicles.
Okay,
And the remainder would then carry over to the
next year. Okay. All right, so that'll be then, oh, pretty much One Step Beyond. So One Step Beyond is pretty much going to get what they've requested, with the exception of, instead of three raised roof vehicles with lift, they'll get 2 raised roof vehicles with a lift. So
Correct.
2 out of 3. And then whatever remaining balance from that delta for that last vehicle will just kind of roll over until next year's capital allocation. All right, is that right, Dee Dee?
That is correct.
All right.
Chair, members of the committee, based on, is there any other discussion? I can summarize the consensus of the committee.
Yes, please go ahead, Dee Dee.
This item is for action. It is to recommend the approval of the fiscal year 2025, section 5310, a prioritized project of rankings for the Phoenix, Mesa, Scottsdale, Phoenix West, Goodyear, Avondale urban areas. The consensus of the committee was to develop the priority listing for both urban areas based on ranking within the Phoenix, Mesa, Scottsdale area. Train them up ministry to be awarded 1 minivan and 1 raised roof. And in the Phoenix, Goodyear, Avondale area, due to funding limitation, 1 step beyond to be awarded 2 raised roof.
That is correct.
Okay.
Anyone else have any questions about that? All right, hearing none. All right, let's move over to operations.
That operations,
Or the operating allocation. So that way we can kind of see with the 125.
here, members of the committee, that was a full priority listing for all.
Oh no, I just want to kind of see when we move to the right of how far we get, if everybody is getting everything there. Just yeah, because with the 125 swaps. Like, are we getting through all of it on the operating allocations?
Chair, members of the committee, we have an over allocated request for the operating on the Phoenix, Mesa, Scottsdale. We had
Yeah, this is the one kind of like what we were what Nancy was talking about earlier. If we can kind of collapse some of those fields. That way, like maybe is it I and J?
chair members of the committee, I believe we had approximately over let me get that number for you.
Yeah, no, I think this helps. So we're looking at the blue in this category right here. So we're getting easily through the first 125,000 request, correct? In operating allocation?
Yes, I believe we will make the first round, and those are not the numbers at this point. The formula did go off a little bit.
Okay.
So
So is there a way to hide column J, capital allocation? Okay. Here we go. And this is still by rank score. So for instance, City of Phoenix, right there, amount requested 250. All through that. So they're getting that. And then does that, I assume that goes further down, correct? There we go. NAU. All right. That's a percentage, right? 125 like thousand times the points average. That from the amount requested, that's what they're getting allocated, correct?
Chair and members of the committee, these are not approximate numbers. These are estimate numbers. These are due to how the formula is based.
Mm-hmm.
These are not the numbers that they will be possibly receiving. I'm going to forward you another spreadsheet that has.
I just want to be able to have that in my pocket for the operating allocations if that question comes up. And I'm pretty sure I'll know that by transit committee. But knowing what those numbers are, how far we've gotten in the operating allocation.
Chair, members of the committee, sorry.
Mhm.
I
Go ahead,
can-
Wendy.
I think that what Dee Dee's saying is that these are, since we don't have final allocation
Portion.
or
Yeah.
portions, it's not going to be exact, and we do not know where the line is going to end. But what we could do is how we could look at how much funding we have estimated total for operating assistance and just subtract what the total ask versus the total estimate, and then see what the difference is. And we could go up from the bottom and kind of see where that line might fall. I think that's what you're requesting,
Yeah,
Chair.
that is correct.
So if I'm not mistaken, I gotta take off my glasses so I can read
Mhm.
it. In the Phoenix Mesa area, the total operating project request was 2.315407. $2,315,407 was the request.
Okay.
And in the spreadsheet I printed, I don't have what is the funding available that you had, the 1,815,026? Is that the right estimate number for Phoenix Mesa that you have, Dee Dee? So here, let me show you. So that's what the ask is. That's what's available. Yes. Okay. So no worries. So the total operating available approximate without
Mhm.
knowing final
Yep.
is 1.815. So I have not done the math. Let me just do that really quick. I don't have all my normal tools with me. 2,315,407 minus 1,815,026. We're talking about a $500,000 deficit.
Okay.
I'm thinking that, you know, that would be, if we look at the bottom, if we go to the bottom, Tyler, could we scroll to the bottom of the Phoenix Mesa? So did we hide the column that was the original request? Or no, sorry, column F, column F. So going down to the bottom, column F,
Oh, I think it's not in order. It's not in ranking order.
oh, could we do it
Yeah.
in order? Thank you.
If we do it in ranking.
No, I'm just looking at the amount that we're requesting. So the very bottom is City of Glendale. The operating is the gray, right?
Yes.
Okay, the operating is in gray, so the first one from the bottom up would be City of Glendale would be on that list. If that was the cut line,
Okay.
Jing, City of Glendale, City of Chandler. Tyler, can you highlight the column F of the gray ones until we hit not the individual cells, the 45,000, and then shift, or I forget, shift control
It's one of those shifts or alt.
stop there. And what is the total that one drive signed in? What is, I'm gonna come over and look at your screen, the total. Bottom.
Chair, can I
Yes.
just, yeah, I think they sorted it by the amount requested. Is that what we should be looking at, or should we be
No, I
sorting
think it
by-
needs to be points average, right?
Yes, I think we
Yeah.
need to be sorted by
'Cause I was
points
looking at- I was-
average first,
I'm
and then the
trying
bottom.
to look at that column. I cannot see it. I'm on a small laptop. I think you guys,
Points.
you're right. It needs to be sorted by points average.
Sorry,
Yeah.
highest to lowest.
Yeah.
And then we, thank you. Then
There
do,
we go. Now,
so
there we go. Now we can go over and do that, right?
City of Glendale and City of Peoria would be on the cut list.
Okay, there we go. That makes
Thank you.
yeah. Because I was like, wait a minute, I'm pretty sure Chandler scored pretty high.
I was like, what?
Thank you for paying attention. I appreciate that. So that, and again, final apportionments will tell, and City of Phoenix will be the ones to apply our general, or the committee's general request in that order. So, but there will be some that won't receive funding or get partial funding based on
So
the
it looks, yeah, it looks
amounts.
ideally, so Glendale will not get their request, and then Peoria will get like a partial. It looks like.
If it comes in higher, Peoria could be fully funded. We just
We just don't know yet, yeah.
But given the current estimates, if these were true numbers, that would be the case, but we won't know until the final apportionments. But
Got
this
it.
general meeting the committee's request for the priority listing based on score order, that's kind of where it would fall.
Okay. That's what I kind of need to know, just if that question kind of pops up of where that cutoff line is. So thank you very much, Wendy. Okay, so all right, next. So we have the prioritized project ranking list. So we know where we're at with the capital side. We kind of now know where we're at, where everything is going to fall on the operations side, with the rankings that we have. All right. Is there anything else I'm forgetting, Dee Dee?
I think if there's no further, chair, members of the committee, if there's no further discussion,
So now I just need a motion to approve the prioritized project ranking, correct?
correct.
All right. All right, knowing what we have now, is there a motion to recommend the approval of the fiscal 25, section 50 through 10 priority project rankings for Phoenix Mesa Scottsdale and Phoenix West Goodyear Avondale urban areas.
Chair.
Lindsay Post, so moved.
All right, got
Chair.
a motion from Lindsay and a second from who?
Chair,
Yes,
Chair, sorry.
yes.
I just wanted to clarify something because I realized I may have done that incorrectly.
Okay.
If you're going through a pass through of 125 from top to bottom based on the percentages, everybody would get a little something. Right? So everybody would have a portion of their or everyone would get 125 or a portion thereof based on the percentage. So nobody would go without funding.
Oh, got it. Okay, for the operations side, yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
So everybody would get a little based
Right.
on
Yeah.
the 125. Sorry, I just want to make sure before you voted that you had that
Correct.
clarification.
Correct. Yeah, that's that 125 times the percentage that we get. Yeah, so it'll just go down there until we get to like 500,000, probably less, and then that'll be. But the prioritized rankings themselves are still the same. All right. So I'm good with that. Lindsay, are you good with that explanation because you made the original motion?
Yeah, with that information, my motion stands.
Okay. In a second. Who did I hear? Was that you, Joan? Or Nancy?
Second.
All right, who made that second? Joan?
No, it wasn't me, but I'll second it.
All right, Joan. We have a second from Joan. All right. Motion from Lindsay, a second from Joan. All right, we'll have to turn on our cameras and unmute our audio again. So everyone, please leave your cameras on until the after the roll call vote. So can I have a voice vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. All right, members, leave your cameras on. Dee Dee, can you take a roll call of the members participating virtually who did not turn on their cameras?
Joan Freeman, but she seconded the motion. Carolyn Ballard, how do you vote?
Aye. Aye.
It is unanimous.
All right, motion carries. We have approval. All right. On to agenda item number 7. All right. Are there any requests from the membership for an item on the future agenda? I know with the full schedule that we've had, I know, Lindsay, you were going to provide an update for the Section 5310 program for Tempe, which we definitely want to hear, but we're going to move that on to the next meeting.
That would align better with my schedule anyway, so that's
Okay, good. Good. All right. This is just, do I have any requests from anyone else? All right, here are no requests. Well, the next agenda item is comments from the committee. All right.
Nothing from me except hearty congratulations to Dee Dee once again.
All right. Anyone else have comments?
Yeah, this is Nancy. Just again, thanks, Matt, for running the show and for all your hard work. And Dee Dee, we will miss you. So good luck and enjoy your retirement.
Definitely. Anyone else? Comments? All right. Dee Dee, my turn. So thank you so much for all the stuff that you've done over these it seems longer than 12 years, honestly. It seems like it's been forever. And I'm trying to remember what the process was like before you were here. But I do recall it was not easy. It was always kind of like an uphill battle that we've had. And I remember we had these boxes full of 5310 applications where I think we would come down there right as this got, once Phoenix took a look at it, once you guys took a look, we had these huge boxes of applications where I would just have to take home and then put in my put on my desk and just kind of go over that. So I've known, you definitely talked about streamlining the process and you've been super successful. I know we talk about best practices and the best practices around, the country, and we're doing that study now. But honestly, I think we are the best practice here, if I'd say here in the country. And I think the one of the main reasons why is all the hard work that you've put in for this process, not only for us, but especially for the nonprofits here in the region. I think they really do appreciate it. Every time I hear and see one of these nonprofits out there, they always talk about the fantastic job that you've done on the MAG side to keep them informed throughout the whole entire process, not only for like mobility management, which we've seen just grow by leaps and bounds over, the last 12 years, but even for like the new applicants that have applied and those that apply and go through the application process to make it how streamlined it has and a lot easier for everybody to kind of fill that out. So from the bottom of my heart, I do appreciate all the greatest, all the hardest work that you've kind of put in here. We will definitely miss you. It will not be the same without you. So I got to make sure I want to try to get down there and maybe have lunch with you before you leave. But from my side, thank you for all the help that you've done in the last 12 plus years in making sure that the 5310 program is the best program that I've seen in quite a while. So thank you very much, Dee Dee. All right. Any other comments?
Just thank you. Thank you.
I know I was ready to say, Dee Dee, now it's your turn for the comments.
I just wanted to say thank you so much and thank you for everybody's time. This is a long process and the evaluation of, and the number keeps growing. I just wanted to say, we could not do this process without you and the time that you put in and the commitment to the community. So thank you. And thank you for the kind words.
And, for the rest of the committee, again, this is not an easy process. What do we have? 36, 46 applicants this year to go through there. It does get a lot easier with all the hard work, both with what Phoenix does on your side and what MAG does on their side to get this all prepped and ready for us to go through this process. Again, it used to be a lot more difficult than it is today. Going through this now, it's like, wow, this is so streamlined. This is so easy. So I do appreciate, all the MAG help, all the City of Phoenix help in getting this done. And then, Phoenix, you guys on the back end have, as the designated recipient, have to make sure all of this stuff is right because it wasn't then, Region 9 comes down on you guys. So we do appreciate all the hard work and that admin fee of what, 10%, I think is well worth it on that side because you guys do so much work in making sure that it keeps us out of trouble and everything's going smoothly. So I really do appreciate that on, the Phoenix side too. All right. Wendy?
Just to be clear, Phoenix doesn't keep the 10%.
What? Who
We-
keeps the 10%?
We reinvest a lot of that into the time MAG spends in doing the coordination transportation planning. So it is a lot of that's reinvested into the program. And many times Phoenix gives the money back to when they're short to fund projects and other things too. So some of it goes to staff time, but it's shared back with the region. Just
All right.
want to make sure that
I thank you, City of Phoenix, for your benevolency on that. All righty. Any other comments? All right, we are going to. Is there agenda item 8? No, agenda item 8 is comments from the case. So adjournment is, right? Is there an adjournment one? All right, so the next meeting of the 5310 committee will be on, put this on your calendar right now, Wednesday, November 12th at 10 a.m. And with that, with no further business, today's meeting is adjourned. I appreciate everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.